our spring started out, you know, late March, early April. Still looking for sheds, still picking up some sheds. But that's when we make the transition into spring gobbler season. You know, those birds start gobbling late March. We were out there a lot when we had time. You know, we have college. We don't get done with that until the first week of May. So, first day of turkey season rolled around. I roosted 3 gobblers over together before the first day. Set up where I thought they were going to fly down the next day. I actually flew down the back side of the hill instead on top. So I set up there, I waited for 3 hours. And they had about 8 hens with them. They finally worked their way, they were working their way. I started calling, they'd gobble. Didn't want to break from the hens though. Finally one of the birds broke away from the hens. Came in the worst possible spot from my right side, which was completely thick, a lot of choke cherry, a lot of brush. Finally worked his way out in front of me to about 15 yards. I clucked him a couple times, he dropped his fan, turned around. I was lucky enough I made a good shot on him. And then Joey got a bird, what was that, second week? No, the first day, it was the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we took pictures together.
The other one I was just thinking was Emma. He went out with her and she got a bird then too.
Yeah, Joey was able to get a bird on the first day too. I don't think that was till like 10 a.m. I think they broke off from the hens. They've been working the bird for a while. He came in, made a good shot. He got that bird.
Yeah, and another day, Neil and I went out there, you know, early in the morning. It was before dark for sure, or before daylight, whatever.
You guys knew where the bird was roosted before though, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, so we were walking in there. I was trying to film that day too, but it was, you know, so dark obviously at this point. It's hard to see anything, but Neil's better at calling than me for sure, so he was doing most of it. He gave a couple aloots early on, trying to locate that bird, and we heard him off. We were quite a bit away from him, so we were working in, kept getting closer, and we knew there was like a little opening kind of on the other side of these trees, and we thought he was roosted somewhere kind of on the other side of that. So we're working in, kind of getting dialed in on where he's at, and finally we're like, okay, I think we're close enough. We're gonna sit down here, see if we can get him off the roost eventually. So we sat down, we're calling, he's gobbling back. Start getting excited. We're thinking it's all gonna come together here, but just as it starts getting light out, we hear a gunshot, maybe 150 yards away, and we just knew it was that bird. So that was pretty disappointing there, but you know what happens. We just backed out of there and went on to another spot. It's pretty much all you can do at that point. So.
Yeah, it was a good spring. I can't complain about it. I mean, good sheds. Had some luck with some turkeys. Overall, can't complain.
Yeah, like you said, even though it was school and sometimes we don't have as much time as we'd like to be out there, it is just a nice time of the year. You're coming out of the winter in early spring where it's colder, so it's nice. Warms up a little bit, and just enjoy being out there a little more.
Another thing about that too is with spring gobbler, you get that. Sometimes you get that 2-week window. You finish the semester, you might have 2 weeks before you start your job, so you know you get 2 weeks to be in the woods every day. And even that, you know what I mean, you get a lot of scouting, and even when you're turkey hunting, you're always looking for sign, you know what I mean, preparing for the next season. Pick up a few antlers here and there, but especially if everything doesn't get green too early. One thing I like to do is, you know what I mean, look for those scrapes, those big community scrapes, those scrapes you might not notice when you're out there in the summer scouting, and that's why, you know, I mean, during shed season, that's when you do the majority of your scouting, because that's when you can see everything, see where they drop their antlers, scrapes, trails, bedding. So we'll get into a little bit of what you can expect out of a deer's summer patterns. I mean, how to kind of keep an eye on them, maybe get that one step ahead before they transition to the fall pattern. So we'll start with that next.